So I have got my PTR-91 here. Just gonna have a little fun with it today. Got a couple of mags loaded up with some Wolf 308 steel case. Got the Sig Romeo 5 on there. Just put that on there. I got it roughly sighted in, not super. Just got some padding taped up there. Got a little keeper here that I made. Just pull that down. Actually, you don't even need to pull that down. You can just tug on this and that'll come right out. It just keeps it from getting tangled while it's in the safe. Got Leo here looking janky because he got shaved a little bit. He gets mats in his fur in the summer. Here's the other side. Just got this light duct taped up there. That's actually Pro Gaff gaffer tape. Until I can get like a spur or something for this to mount a light. There's not too many options for this. Tried one of those UTG mounts up front that just clamps on the barrel, but it was a piece of shit. So, duct tape for now. Alright, so here's my target that I'll be shooting at today. Just a IPSC training target. This is just a piece of cardboard taped to some fiberglass rods, some driveway markers. Pretty cheap and easy target to make. So we'll get to shooting that. Had a few flyers there. Not the greatest shot in the world, but it's a great gun. So one thing that I really like about this gun is it seems to launch the steel cases into low Earth orbit. Never had any extraction issues with these. They do get really hot after a couple mags though. So there's some pros and cons to this rifle. One of the things I am not a huge fan of is this charging handle. Maybe I just got a stiff one. I don't know if all the PTRs are like that. But it's kind of hard to pull back. Especially hard to get it started once it's locked up here. I know that's separating like the bolt, pulling the bolt back, unlocking the lugs or the rollers. But I do have a Century C308 as well, and that does not have issues with being that stiff. One thing I like about this a lot over the Century C308 is this has the paddle mag release. That doesn't. This actually has both paddle and button. I definitely prefer the paddle. I did put this pad on here, which that's the other con to this rifle, is this, depending on how far up your face is on that, will knock your teeth out. I mean, not literally, but don't feel good. But with this pad just taped on there, there's some foam in there under some pleather. That's just taped on basically, but it's holding up pretty good. Other con is mounting stuff to this rifle. It's not the greatest. There's some aftermarket options, but they're not cheap. I saw on Apex there is a like a key mod rail for it, I believe. Should have ordered it, but I didn't. Maybe I'll get that eventually. But the spurs look really nice, but those are like $400. Favorite thing about this rifle, other than like dirt cheap magazines, they're like $5. That's super satisfying. Can't get a sight picture there. There we go. You can almost see, actually, with that that riser, you can actually see the iron sights if you need to. But I can't get my camera that low. It's just a cell phone. Great gun. Safety's a little funky to put it back on safe. If you take it off safe, you kind of gotta ride your hand up there. Get your thumb pretty high. Full auto don't actually do anything because this is a single only gun, which is all we can get in the States. So the sling, these are slings that I make myself. I put them on most of my guns. So up front, we've got 2 of these tri-glides, just plastic tri-glides, so you can adjust where this tail sling ends up. So it's always going to be in the same place. Like this, the location of this does not change. Always stays the same. And then I've got that going up to this 3-inch webbing. This is all mil-spec nylon. I just stitched this with a sewing awl. It doesn't look great, but it's pretty tough. Just so I got a loop on the end there to stick my thumb through or something. And it's just attached here with paracord, 550 paracord. If you're going to use it, get the made in the USA stuff. The Chinese stuff is garbage. Use that for the front and the back. Holds pretty well. And it's not noisy like the metal sling swivels, which you can't attach to this anyways. I used to buy those sling swivels all the time, like $12 a piece or something. They rattle everywhere, then they spin around, and this is just cleaner, cheaper, and more sneaky breaky. And the mags, nice and cheap. I just like spray painting mine. They hold up pretty well. They're aluminum. They're like super light. I don't know how much these weigh empty, but it's not much. Any other cons to this rifle? Runs kind of dirty. Cleaning it is kind of a pain in the butt because it just gets so dirty after even one mag. It's like black. But you don't really have to clean it after every use. It takes a lot to get this rifle to stop. I mean, I've put a couple hundred rounds through it before without any stoppages. Can't afford to do that too often with 308 though. Wolf 308 as of right now is like 65 cents a round shipped for the steel case, which, I mean, it's not too much worse than everything else right now. I've been shooting this instead of my 5.56 guns just because 308 is so much more fun, and 5.56 brass case costs about the same. So, been shooting this a lot more lately. Really enjoy it. Pros. 308 is fun as heck. It's a very powerful round, a very accurate gun. I've never done bench shooting with this. I am not a member of a gun club or anything like that. Don't go to the range too often. I just shoot outside. So I don't do much bench shooting, but it's more than minute of mic. It's more accurate than I am. Do you want a closer look at plank there? Yeah, good gun. Would recommend, especially for how cheap they are. I mean, it's like $1,200 for a semi-auto 308, and honestly, I think they're better than the FALs. I mean, the recoil is pretty stout, but makes you feel something when you shoot it. It's not like 5.56. You know, you see that meme from a long time ago. Sometimes you just want to eat a really spicy chicken sandwich just to see if you can feel something anymore. That's what 308's like. Alright, so I put about 40 rounds through it. I'm just going to take it apart and show you about how dirty it gets after just that much. So we'll take the mag out. Make sure she's empty. Nothing in there. Alright, so to take it apart, you mainly just push these pins. Take those out. And then there is a spot to put them so you don't lose them. Do you ever wonder what those holes are for? And then this whole stock and buffer comes right out. And then once that happens, you take this, pull that back, this comes off, and this comes out. You can see just absolute black. So I'll just take some rags. wipe that down. These rags are kind of soaked with some cleaning solution. Now the biggest pain in the butt with these guns is if you push this in by accident, it is not easy to get back out, which maybe I'll show you how to do that right now. Oh, it's a pain in the butt. So if this ever happens to you, and it's easy to do when you're cleaning it, you gotta remove that, and you can see how black this stuff is after just 40 rounds. I had just cleaned it and cleaned this stuff up. These are your rollers. Those are what lock it. There's your firing pin. This doesn't really get dirty because that's not actually a gas tube. These aren't a gas operated gun. So this is just what the charging handle pushes on up here. And it adds some mass to the bolt. Well, bolt assembly, bolt carrier group. You can see this isn't too bad. I do run some grease in here. And my light just turned off. Battery must be low. Now this is about the hardest part of owning this gun, is getting this back on. Now there's this little nub back here, and this has kind of a ramp right here. You can see that's kind of slanted. All right, now that's back on there. Do not push that in again, because like you see, it's kind of a pain in the butt to get back on. And then I just grab some cleaning solution, put that through the barrel. And run a bore snake through. So I just kind of set this up right. Got my eds red in here. Run some through the barrel. And you can see it's already getting some stuff out of there. Take your boar snake. Pull that through until you can barely grab that loop. Pull your loop back. And then just repeat a couple more times. And that's all I do to clean most of the time. I'll add a little oil to it and call it good. Every once in a while I do a detail clean on these, but for now that's fine. Oh, and your charging handle can't be locked back. So, all right, and then that bolt is back in. Don't really have to do much with this. Maybe just wipe the hammer face down. Make sure you don't have any gunk in there though. And then pop these out of back there, push them through.